I think this one's a contender for being the best episode so far. Not both stories. There were two equal length stories again this time, but the first story was by far the best one they've done. And I've read this one before, and it translated very well into animation, and it was just as creepy and weird as I remember it, maybe even more so. Like I legitimately got an eerie sense of this is weird and spooky throughout this story. It's about like a guy, he moves into a new house, and there's like a weird neighbor next door that starts talking to him at nighttime, and they look horrific, and it's just very spooky and weird, and the suspense is there. It's really good. The second story wasn't bad, but it wasn't as good. I felt it was a little bit slow, and I didn't really get what was going on too much. It was weird, but throughout it, I was just kind of like wondering, like, okay, where's this going? But when it gets to the end, it actually gets really good, and I'd say it's actually because of how it ends, it elevated the rest of the story. It made the rest of the story seem a lot better than it came off as I was watching it. Which you could argue that that's maybe not the best way to tell a story. It should be entertaining all throughout. But I like that there's a lot of examples of things that I like where I thought it was kind of boring watching it, and then something happens at the end that made the whole thing so worthwhile that it like elevated it to greatness, because what happened at the end made the like retroactively changed everything else I had seen and made it all way better. So yeah, this is a great episode. Really great. I would definitely recommend anybody at least watch the first story in this episode if you want a good spooky one. This was definitely like the spookiest of them so far, like the most legitimate like horror that they've had on here so far, because it was actually eerie. It actually gave me sense of dread and sense of spookiness. And I knew the story, and they did it so well that I was still able to capture that spooky feeling watching this for the first time. So yeah, well, I'm gonna get back to watching anime, I guess. But actually, you know what? I don't have any anime left this week. I'm gonna have to wait for Overlord or something to come out. Now I'll get back to it whenever that comes out. So I'll catch you then.